The wind, a mournful sigh escaping the caverns of the underworld, carried the rasp of a voice across the river Charon. A voice as ancient as the primordial ooze, as cold and unwelcoming as the tomb itself. It was Charon, the ferryman of the dead, his weathered skiff cutting through the inky water, its creaking a constant lament in the desolate landscape. Charon, son of Erebus, the embodiment of darkness, and Nyx, the goddess of night, was no benevolent soul. He was duty incarnate, a grim reaper ferrying the endless tide of departed across the Styx, the river of hate, separating the world of the living from the clutches of Hades. His face, a roadmap of countless crossings etched by the relentless hand of time, bore the weight of an eternity spent in the skeletal embrace of the underworld. His eyes, like smouldering embers in the perpetual gloom, held no warmth, only the chilling indifference of the grave. Tonight, however, a different kind of tension crackled in the air. A young woman, Elara, her once vibrant eyes now clouded with the film of death, stood on the bank, clutching a single silver obol, the coin of passage. Unlike the others, shrouded in the resignation of the condemned, Elara burned with a desperate defiance. She had been robbed of her life, murdered by a cruel twist of fate, and refused to accept the oblivion that awaited her on the other side. Charon, her voice, a mere whisper against the oppressive silence, held a tremor of both fear and defiance. "Take me across." Charon, ever stoic, eyed her impassively. He had seen countless souls, heroes, villains, innocents, and the damned all pleading for a different fate. Their pleas held no sway over him. He was a cog in the macabre machinery of the underworld, his duty as relentless as the flow of the Styx itself. The coin he rasped, his voice like dry leaves scraping against stone. "Do you have the obol?" Elara clutched the coin tighter, her fingers digging into the smooth surface. It was a symbol of life she no longer possessed, a cruel reminder of the life stolen from her. Her gaze locked with Charon's, a silent battle of wills erupting between the weary ferryman and the defiant spirit. "I offer you something else," she finally whispered, her voice gaining strength. "A tale. A story so captivating, so filled with the bittersweet beauty of life, that it will pierce the veil of this eternal gloom, even for a fleeting moment." Charon's skeletal hand tightened around the oar, a flicker of something akin to curiosity crossing his ancient features. An eternity spent in the monotonous routine of ferrying the dead had dulled his senses, but the promise of a story, a glimpse into the world he had left behind, stirred a dormant ember within him. "A story," he echoed, his voice a low rumble. "A worthy tale can buy passage, but beware, child. Should your tale fail to captivate, the consequences will be dire." Elara, a desperate light burning in her eyes, stepped onto the creaking skiff. The boat groaned under the weight of her defiance, and Charon, for the first time in an eternity, felt a thrill course through him, not of fear, but of anticipation. The Styx churned restlessly, as if sensing the drama about to unfold. In that inky expanse, bathed in the faint, sickly glow of an underworld moon, Elara began her story, weaving a tapestry of life, love, and loss so poignant, so beautiful, that even Charon, the ferryman of the dead, found himself captivated. As her tale unfolded, the oppressive silence of the underworld was shattered by the echoes of laughter, tears, and the bittersweet beauty of a life lived. For a fleeting moment, the Styx itself seemed to shimmer, reflecting a forgotten sunrise. A single tear, a testament to the power of her story, rolled down Charon's weathered cheek. When Elara finally finished, the silence returned, heavier than before, but laced with a newfound respect. Charon, his gaze fixed on the distant shore of the underworld, finally spoke. "Your story," he rasped, his voice a touch softer, "was a worthy offering. You have earned your passage." As Elara disembarked, a flicker of a smile touched her lips, a victory against the inevitable. Charon watched her fade into the darkness of Hades, the echo of her story lingering in the air. He pushed off from the bank, the creaking of the skiff once again his only companion. But tonight, the familiar journey felt different. A single tear, a testament to the power of a story, still glistened on his cheek. Perhaps, even in the desolate realm of the dead, a flicker of humanity could be rekindled. The tale Elara spun had pierced the veil of his monotonous existence, reminding him of the vibrant world that lay above, a world brimming with life, love, and yes, even death. It was a bittersweet reminder of a life he no longer possessed, yet a reminder nonetheless. The weight of his duty, however, remained. As he steered his skiff towards the next wisp of a soul waiting on the bank, a single question gnawed at him. Was Elara's story truly the first to have ever sparked a flicker of emotion within him? Or had countless other tales, whispered across the Styx over the eons, been similarly forgotten, their impact dulled by the relentless march of time? This newfound self-awareness, a consequence of Elara's defiance, stirred a quiet rebellion within Charon. He began to listen more intently to the pleas of the souls he ferried. Some, burdened by regret, poured out their final confessions, seeking solace in the act of unburdening their hearts. Others, consumed by anger at their untimely demise, raged against the fates. Charon, though stoic on the surface, found himself strangely drawn to these emotional outpourings. They were a stark contrast to the monotonous silence that had defined his existence for so long. One day, a weathered warrior, his armor etched with the scars of countless battles, boarded Charon's skiff. The warrior, unlike most, held no coin, no offering. He simply stared defiantly at Charon, his eyes burning with a warrior's pride. "I have no coin," the warrior growled, his voice gravelly with age. "But I offer you a challenge, a test of your own strength." Intrigued, Charon raised an eyebrow, the first flicker of genuine emotion on his face in eons. "A challenge?" The warrior nodded. "A duel. Winner takes all." The prospect of a duel, a physical contest, was a novelty Charon hadn't experienced in millennia. A spark of forgotten fire ignited within him. He gripped his oar a little tighter, the wood groaning under the sudden pressure. "Very well," he rasped, a hint of amusement creeping into his voice. "But be warned, mortal. I have not forgotten the art of war." The warrior grinned, a glint of steel flashing in his eyes. "Neither have I, old ferryman." The skiff rocked violently as the two titans clashed, their duel echoing through the desolate landscape of the underworld. It was a battle unlike any other, a clash between the embodiment of death and a warrior spirit unwilling to yield. The Styx itself churned in response, the water frothing with an unseen energy. The fight was brutal, a testament to the warrior's prowess and Charon's forgotten strength. In the end, however, it was Charon who emerged victorious, his oar disarming the warrior with a resounding clang. The warrior, panting but undefeated in spirit, slumped to the floor of the skiff. "You win, old man," he rasped, a grudging respect in his voice. Charon, his chest heaving slightly from the exertion, gazed down at the warrior. "And what reward do you seek for your bravery?" The warrior closed his eyes for a moment, then spoke. "Tell me a story, Charon. A story of a hero's journey of valor and sacrifice. Remind me why I fought so hard to cling to life." Charon, for the first time in eons, smiled a genuine, albeit faint, smile. "As you wish," he rumbled. And so, under the oppressive glow of the underworld moon, Charon, the ferryman of the dead, began to weave a tale. A tale not just for the warrior, but for himself, a reminder of the world he had left behind, and the echoes of humanity that still flickered within his ancient soul.